It's 2 weeks. They got it all. 2-week notice for sure.
Well, welcome everyone to Three Guys, One Music. I'm Jamey. As always, I'm here with Mike and Grant. What's up, guys?
Hello, how's it going?
All right. Now we're going to have a fun episode today. We're going to talk a little bit about Christmas tunes and the Christmas cheer.
Christmas tunes, dude.
Songs that we like. Yeah. It's that time of the year. So we're going to try to have a little fun today. So we'll talk about what we've been listening to, as always. And does anybody want to go first with that?
I can't remember really what I was listening to. I did write down
just thinking,
Air. I had to write it down. I've been listening to Air, which is a French
I know.
dance pop. It's kind of atmospheric, almost ambient. But it's a lot of fun. They've been around for a while. Albums like Moon Safari and their later album Talkie Walkie, really good, solid, just, not hardcore thumping dance music, not EDM, but like I said, atmospheric. It's a lot of fun. It's good background music, or if you just want to sit back and soak it up, it's some good stuff.
Air.
Air.
What era are they from? Are they current?
Their first album came out in 98.
Okay. Last 25 years.
Yeah, they've only got a handful of albums, like 4 or 5, something like that.
They're from the Stratosphere.
They did the soundtrack to the Virgin Diaries, the Virgin Suicides. Yeah. Can't remember the name of the movie, but yeah, they did soundtrack music for that. So they've been around a little while.
The book was great. The movie was all right. The book.
Kirsten Dunst. Is that who was in that
she
movie?
Was in the movie, yeah.
All right.
I actually have been listening to. Sorry, Jamie, were you gonna?
Yeah. No. I wanted you to go next.
Ambience as well. Some Brian Eno, Music for Airports, Another Green World, and what else? Brian Eno and Daniel Lanois, their Music for Apollo, which is they did a reissue a couple years ago and put out way more music than they could put out on the album when the album came out.
Yeah.
But they had the official it's music for some of the archival footage that NASA had. They did official music for it, and it was a big project, and it's really spacey, but like it's supposed to be,
Spacey, man.
But
that's
again,
cool.
Same thing. Like it's good. You can have it on and either listen to it, or sometimes you have stuff on and you're not even listening, but your secret ears are listening, and all of a sudden you find yourself totally divorced from what you're doing, and you're actually thinking about something. Wow, I've gotten into a meditative state here by accident, just having it on.
I don't know if it's something else, but CNN had the anniversary, and I didn't recall it being by Brian Eno or Daniel Lanois, and it might have been a different project, but they did everything, upscaled it into 4K.
That was different. Yeah.
Okay. That was great. And I did buy that soundtrack. That was great. I enjoyed that tunage. And there was a couple of originals that I'd never heard from, like back in that era, 69. I wasn't familiar with. And I thought, okay. Well, I've been listening to My Morning Jacket a lot lately. It's so funny how these two records, the first one came out in 2014, and I just wasn't ready for it. I don't know if you guys are that into them, but they're one of my favorite bands and have been since I discovered them.
Yeah.
Back in 2010, 11, maybe. And I was asking myself today, I had to go to Kansas City, and I was driving back, and I was like, why didn't I like this earlier? And I think it's because of the production, because Circuitous was the first record that I really got into, and it's so warm and inviting. And Waterfall 1 and 2 are a little more cold and thinner. And I think that's part of it, because the songs are great. And I just didn't give them a chance, because I just got turned off almost immediately. I just didn't spend any time with it. And they had so many songs, as you were just speaking, that for that one project, they had to split it up into 2 records. And and what a nice problem to have.
Yeah.
And I've been listening to Lenny Kravitz's 1991 release, Mama Said, and 93 release, Are You Gonna Go My Way? And listening to those old production values. I had my Marshall Retube today, my old Plexi, and just something about that era just makes me want to listen to stuff that was recorded. And Are You Gonna Go My Way was absolutely recorded with vintage Plexis, and that's old school production that they went back to for that record. And I've always loved it.
I love his playing. Craig Ross, he's Lena's guitar player.
Yep.
He plays all over those albums, obviously, but live.
Oh yeah,
yeah, he's a fantastic player. But
good partner to have.
Tones are amazing.
Yeah, and that era was so great. You know, it was right after, you know, I guess it was in the middle of the alternative grunge movement, but I think of it as right beyond it, because 91 and 92 were the key years for me for that period.
Yeah,
but people were starting to go back to the old amps and not use a lot of outboard gear, and it was just raw tones, and I just love that period.
Was Let Love Rule 89?
89.
First album, 80. Yeah, I thought it was 89. I couldn't.
Yeah, I bought that in probably no, I did buy it in early 90, actually. I bought it in early 90. It's been out for a few months, but me and Sam Spagnuolo used to listen to that record a lot back then. I really, that was that psychedelic flower power kind of revisited era.
Yeah.
You know, late 60s was really embraced. And, you know, I'm glad he evolved from that and didn't stay in that, because it was cool. And I do like that record a lot, but I kind of, you know, that wasn't what he was all about.
Yeah. Well, you got to start where you are. So that's what he was into at the time. So, you know,
and it's good. There's a lot of great songs on that record. But that's what I've been listening to. And so we'll get into our subject here. And this is just some of the Christmas songs and kind of records that we really kind of embraced and really think a lot of, and just puts us in a good mood in that type of, you know, I don't know, puts us in the mood for what that
year.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're just going to kind of riff, and, you know, wing it here, and we're not going to go through any lists. So we'll just talk about some songs that we really love. So does anyone want to get started with it?
So do you guys in making your list, well, maybe not even making your list, just thinking about the Christmas season as a whole, for you personally, what's your, do you have a certain style that you imagine, or a certain time frame or atmosphere that Christmas brings to mind? Do you know what I mean? Like,
what do you mean, like revisiting in your past?
Well, you know, when you think of Christmas, you know, there's all kinds of Christmas movies on TV and in theater, but like for me, Christmas evokes images of, you know, kids getting bicycles under the tree, and dad, like in the 50s, dad in his fedora, he's bringing the tree home tied to the top of the wood grain station wagon. You know, that kind of everything seems very wholesome and good. That's kind of what,
it's the innocent.
That's my image that I aspire to, you know. And there's you know, there's different vibes for Christmas. Obviously every Christmas someone comes out with a contemporary, more modern version of an old song, or even a new song. So it's always reinventing itself. Christmas music. So I didn't know if you guys had a certain vibe or style that you conjure up.
Just remember Christmas. Just it's relaxing. It's a time just to enjoy and try to feel good and not think about all the mess going on, either personally or in the world. I mean, sometimes you can't escape, especially now with modern communications. But I strive to be a little less serious and a little less informed, whether that's bad or good, because, you know, sometimes you don't, I mean, not that from this couch we can do anything about any of the world's problems anyway. So I think about it, you know, try to enjoy Christmas. I mean, as a kid, you know, everybody has good and bad Christmases, but you know, for the most part, you remember that and it's not just about gifts. It's just about that whole atmosphere of feeling, you know, the family.
Yeah, I would say that it's the weeks leading up to
Yeah,
Christmas
Yeah.
more than the day.
exactly. Yeah, because
For
it
me,
peaks and then
it's like the feeling in the air.
yeah,
And some of the songs that there's at least a couple of songs that I just think about you hear through that period of time. And I've not said this many times. I'm not a radio person, but certainly I've listened to the radio. And being in the company of other people, sometimes you don't have a choice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you hear these songs. I would say movie wise, just briefly while we're talking about it, you've got everything from It's a Wonderful Life, which is, I think most people would maybe consider that the greatest Christmas movie ever. And you've got Christmas Story 83. Well, It Was a Wonderful Life was 46. And you got Elf 2004. I mean, that runs the gamut.
You got
You know?
Die Hard, you got Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, you've got Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Is that
Yep.
Thanksgiving or is that
Oh no,
Christmas?
that's Thanksgiving.
Was that Thanksgiving?
I think
Eyes
that's
Wide
Thanksgiving.
Shut. That's a Christmas
yes.
movie.
I've
Kubrick's
watched that.
Christmas extravaganza.
I want to say that movie wasn't as successful as it should have been. I watched
I've-
it one time. I couldn't
I've
get through
always
it.
said I'm going to revisit that movie, but
Yeah.
I haven't yet.
I
But,
like the movie.
you can't see it, but part of my Christmas decorations here, my media room, I've got Christmas Vacation poster up and Elf.
Oh yeah, Christmas Vacation.
So
In 2001,
and
Space Odyssey.
2001, because there was no Christmas poster in that landscape. So
Merry Christmas Day.
It's funny that I've heard so many people say Christmas Vacation is one of their favorite movies, and to
Yeah.
me, I'm not a fan of it. I never have liked it, but I
Yeah.
like the original Vacation. I don't
Mhm.
like the European Vacation in '85 too much, but I'm in the minority. Christmas Vacation is not particularly special to me. It's a
Yeah.
little bit too silly, but I get
enjoy
why
it.
people like it. I get
I
why
think
people
it's-
like it.
Yeah, it's not special to me, but I enjoy it. I'll
Oh,
watch.
I'm
There's
not
nothing
saying it's-
on, and yeah, I'll have it on in the background.
yeah.
I did watch a movie based on one of our friends' suggestions a couple of days ago. Red One, which is
Oh,
free
haven't
on
watched it yet.
Amazon.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. It's
I
good.
want to see it. It's on
Yeah,
my
it was good. It was definitely
I've
it's
checked
gr-
it
be
twice.
great to watch with kids.
movie is
Maybe a little scary, but yeah, I think
I'm
that's a movie that's going to survive. I think it's going to
Mhm.
stick around.
Well, if
So,
you
yeah,
get
I enjoyed it.
before we get to the music, if you guys get a chance to watch Rare Exports, I'm pretty sure that's the name of the movie. It's a Swedish movie, maybe, where this kid, his dad's digging for oil or something like that. They're blasting and they awaken Santa Claus. And they're
Oh,
in a
wow.
fight for their life against Santa Claus.
I
It's
think I've
Oh
seen it.
wow, that
it's
sounds
kind
interesting.
of a horror movie, but it's more of just an action. And this kid and his friends and his dad are trying to escape Santa's elves and recapture Santa himself. So it's
Oh, wow.
it's a wild ride. It's a lot of fun.
Hmm.
So
Well, thanks for joining us, Three Guys
All right.
Christmas Movies.
Three
We'll
Guys,
see you
One
next
Movie.
time, everyone. Have a Merry Christmas.
This
Oh,
is just
no.
bonus content.
yeah,
Yeah,
now we know about everybody's Christmas vibe.
yeah.
Let's get to the music, Jamie.
Okay, well, I'm gonna just in no particular order, of course. I'm just gonna talk about a couple of songs that really mean a lot to me. Um, I can't think of when I was younger that I really wanted to hear Christmas music, but in 1983, late 82, there was a pop duo that did a cover of a song, and I love the original too. The original might have been in the very opening scenes of Lethal Weapon, but it's Jingle Bell Rock, and I love Hall & Oates' version of it. The
okay.
video is very fun, and they do a great job of it. And it's just makes you feel good, in my opinion.
It's silly.
It's
But
silly fun,
It's cool.
but I really do like, and I like Bobby Helms' version very much.
Yeah.
But I think that song just it works.
I'll just get this out of the way. It's on my list, the Bobby Helms version, the original. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'll just love that song. It's
Yeah, it's
obviously the
great.
Lethal Weapon opening, but it's just a cool song.
It
It's
is in the
fun.
opening. Isn't it in the beginning
Yeah.
of
And you get-
Lethal Weapon?
Yeah, which is dichotomous because the opening is seen as very
Dark.
not good and dark, and
Right.
I like that juxtaposition in
Yeah.
everything. But yeah, I just anytime that song's on the radio, you know, if I heard it 1,000
Yeah.
times, I'm like, oh, let's listen to this. You know, it's a short song and it's just fun. And
It
that's
is fun.
you want Christmas to be fun, you
Yeah.
know?
I'd forgotten about the
Absolutely.
Hall and Oates version. And
Oh
there
yeah,
is-
you know, I've got a little bit of extra information. Tommy Mottola, who was, I want to say, their manager at the time, he became later the head of CBS Records,
Yeah.
Sony, and he ended up marrying Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
But at the time, I want to say he funded that video out of his pocket. That was no cost to Hall & Oates. That's what I've heard and read. I'm assuming it's true. So they just had a lot of fun with it, but it was totally funded on the record company or out of Tommy Mottola's pocket, whatever the case was. But,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
they
the
just had fun with it.
The recording sounds fun. Some Christmas
Yeah.
tunes are just overproduced. There's too much going on. It's too slick. I appreciate that they had fun and just it sounds like they just recorded the song.
Yeah.
And had a good time with it. So
I agree.
yeah,
I agree 100%. All right.
I'll let you go.
What's one I want to talk about first? Did you guys listen to a Christmas song by Froggy Fresh? I tried to send that video to you.
I forgot to listen.
And for some reason, an insurance ad got forwarded first.
I did not.
I did not notice
No.
it. Sorry.
Go back and listen to Froggy Fresh, A Christmas Song. That is my wife's favorite Christmas song.
How old is it?
It's probably 11, 12, 15 years old.
Oh, okay.
But it's real silly. He sings about all he wants for Christmas, and one's a John Cena wristwatch, and a John Cena lunchbox, and a John Cena action figure. And from Grandma, what could he ask for? Oh, a John Cena poster.
Yep.
And then he gets some brownie mix. But it's just so much fun and so singable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's it's an old rap and it's a lot of fun. Like I said,
I forgot.
My wife's
Once you
favorite.
said John Cena, I start.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's her favorite Christmas tune, and I'll mention it and she'll sing it for half an hour.
That's hilarious.
You know,
That's
I've
cool.
been a good boy. That's none of your business.
How about you, Grant?
I'm going to go with everyone's favorite George Michael Christmas song, "Last Christmas," because I always play Whamageddon.
Whamageddon.
Are you familiar with Whamageddon?
I am.
I am not.
The rules of Whamageddon, starting on midnight, December 1st, you have to make it until midnight, December 24th, without hearing "Last Christmas" by Wham.
I think I've gone all of my life without hearing it. I've never heard it.
You've never heard "Last Christmas"?
I don't listen to the radio. I don't watch media in that way, so I don't recall ever hearing it.
Well, they play it everywhere. You can and covers don't count. If you hear a cover version, it doesn't count. Or if your friend sings it to you, it doesn't count.
Where would I hear it?
Target,
the grocery store,
the grocery store.
But if I didn't recognize I was hearing it.
Was that an original Wham song? They wrote that. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned covers, and I've heard other people
other people
cover the tune. So I didn't know.
Yeah, if you hear,
I'm going to have to revisit this, but I honestly don't recall what the song is.
It's a cool little song.
With this 84, 85?
I think so. Maybe 80.
Well, it has to be because that's when they stopped being a duo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at the tail end of the Wham version of Michael's career.
Okay. Yeah, I don't recall hearing it.
I mean, that's not it's a good song. It's not for me.
Yeah.
If I don't hear that or Mariah Carey this season,
Lord,
I'll be okay.
Yeah, same. But it's just fun to
fun.
play the game because then you're out and you're like, because I've been places and a friend of mine is like at a Christmas party or something, and someone's in another room and someone's playing music, and someone will come running to the other end of the house where I'm and say, "Don't go in there! Don't go in there!" And I was like, "What's going on?"
Now, was this song played on MTV and a hit?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I must have heard it, but I have no recollection of it. I must have purged that from my brain.
Yeah.
I don't remember it.
Yeah. When you
I really don't.
Oh yeah, I've heard this.
Okay. Yeah, I will check that out, but I don't remember it at all. I don't.
1, 2, 3 years in a row. This is my 4th
Oh
year.
wow.
So hopefully we'll win.
Oh, I'm going to mention a song that I think George Michael is on this song. It's the Band-Aid project from late '84 called "Do They Know It's Christmas."
Mhm.
Probably because of the age we are, and when that came out, it means something to us that it might not mean to somebody who's 20 years younger, or certainly 20 years older. But I just think that that's a very successful collaboration, much more so than "We Are the World." And they were trying to, in the time when it came out. I think that song has aged very well.
Yeah.
And I just really think I think Midge Ure was one of the bigger contributions to the composition of that, and
Well,
it just
it's a
is really
good,
well written.
it's a good tune, good melody.
I think so.
Like you said, it's from our time. So
Yeah.
the words hold up. I mean, it's kind
Well, yeah, it's not quite. Yeah.
That they should have rewritten before.
Well, I'm just thinking about, it's about the famine in Africa.
Right.
So
Yeah, and to me, it's I guess you could say that would preclude it or exclude it from this list, but the song is
not
called
necessarily.
Do They Know It's Christmas?
Yeah.
Feed the world, let them know it's Christmas time.
Because you still hear it on the radio now
yeah.
and then when you're
Yeah.
listening to Christmas tunes.
When's the last time we've heard "We Are the World" on the radio?
Oh goodness. I don't know. It has been a while.
I don't think that song has really aged that well.
And it was on someone was playing the video.
Yeah.
Late at night one night, I was flipping around and I was like, I recognize this. Oh, it's "We Are the World."
Yeah.
It
I
might have
mean,
been
he
in-
had Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie and Quincy Jones at the helm.
Yeah.
It doesn't really work. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it was successful, of course. You just had so many contributions, but I really feel like "Do They Know It's Christmas" works.
Well, I think
really feel like the people there, it was emotional.
organic.
It seems like it was more organic. That's a great word to use.
I think Bob Geldof was really moved by what he saw and had an urgency to try and do something because nobody was doing anything.
Mhm.
And nothing against "We Are the World," but it seemed like, hey, let's do this too.
Oh, how many countries did the same thing? Sweden did one, Canada did one.
What was the hair metal one? There was a terrible.
Well, there was one from Sweden that is utterly, it's pretty ridiculous.
I think that might be the same one we're thinking of.
I don't remember what it's called, but I watched it and I was showing it to a couple of people and they were like, this is over the top. It's pretty awful.
Ridiculous. I think we're thinking of the same one.
But hey, if it raised money for the cause,
nothing. It probably did.
It's not something we're going to listen to again, but if it made the money at the time that they were needing, then that's great.
But
again, these songs are Jesus.
Yes, my
if
child.
I could if I could form a sentence in my head, but they were a creature of their time, So the melody still holds up. You might sing along nostalgically, but I don't know how much they're in touch with the lyrics are valid today.
Yeah, for me, the bottom line is I do like the song. I think it's a successful song, but more important than that, it to me does make me feel good. And I think it brings up a Christmas vibe. Yeah. And I can't escape the video out of my vision. It was clearly recorded in December or late '84. I mean, whatever. It was '84, but it was late in the year. And it just feels like
Live Aid was
kind of a holiday song, but I just think it's very successsul. So
it does have that vibe. It certainly carries that vibe even today when you listen to it.
I think so.
Yeah. So, let's get the seriousness out of the way so we can have some fun. How about "I Believe in Father Christmas" by Greg Lake, written by Greg Lake,
great song.
Peter Sinfield.
Yeah.
Love it. It is a great song. It's not necessarily a Christmas song because Greg Lake wrote it about the commercialization of Christmas.
Doesn't matter.
It's a Christmas song.
And even the video I think is great because he talks about you promised us snow on Christmas, and all we got was rain. And he's sitting on the ground playing guitar, and the background is all white. And then the camera pans out or pulls back, and you see it's not snow he's sitting on, but sand. He's in the desert, and there are Middle Easterners around him in traditional clothing and a couple of camels. And he's talking about what we believed in as kids, and it was, we finally saw through the stories we were told. And
Wait, those aren't real?
no, they're not real. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. Just innuendo tonight. But it's a very serious, very serious take on that, and it's a beautiful song. But and in the end, when he sings "The Christmas You Get, You Deserve," is kind of a heavy, kind of a finger pointing at you, And in the video, if I remember correctly, you think I would have watched it this week, but in the video at the end, there are newsreels of the Vietnam War and the Israeli War in '67. So
I'm sorry to laugh, but I thought this was supposed to be fun.
I told you we'll get the serious stuff out of the way so we can have some fun.
Having said all of that, I don't really think about the video.
Yeah.
I always think about hearing the song on the radio, and that's, to me, it's audible.
Yeah.
It's not a visual thing, although I totally understand. And
as videos can take away from the song.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but as we've talked about quite a few times, I'm not a lyric person, and I can enjoy the music and the composition and not get sucked up into the message.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people.
Well, the message is in the song, Jamie. It's in the words.
Well, I know. But I've never even thought about that. I've always just loved the way he delivers it.
Yeah.
He sings it beautifully.
Yeah. It's a great song.
Yeah.
What's interesting to me too is he uses Troika by Prokofiev as a background melody.
Mm-hmm.
And that was not written as a Christmas song. Troika, I believe, is a sled or a sleigh, but it wasn't written, with a Christmas vibe. But I think it was written for a movie, a film soundtrack. But that's become a Christmas tune. And it's interesting that he sings about, us kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, he sings about Christmas in a different way, like how we see it and how it really is. And then there's a song that's not really a Christmas tune, but we perceive it as a Christmas tune. It's become a Christmas tune. I won't say it isn't, but it's there's a lot to dissect there. If you want,
does it make you wonder the fact that that song was so heavily played during the holidays for years? And I don't know if it is anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know if terrestrial radio doesn't really exist much. But I never paid attention to the lyrics. I wonder how many people it was just background. Like, okay, well, I hear the word Christmas, so that's all I need to hear.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder, because I never thought about this is kind of dark. I don't know. I really can't say, what does that say about me? But I just don't pay attention to that stuff,
John Lennon's So This Is Christmas is not as heavy-handed, but you've got that chorus in the back.
Oh yeah.
Kids choir singing "War Is Over" if you want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's holiday songs out there with more of a message.
Well, that's in the title.
Yeah.
Happy Xmas, War Is Over in parentheses.
Right.
It's pretty clear. I don't know. It just seems like the way he's singing that, and it could be the way Greg Lake sings, although I'm a huge fan of ELP and him as a singer, period, as a musician. It was even though I think John Lennon, even though they're both British, maybe I could understand him more clearly, or the message got through to me more easily. I'm not sure.
Well, like I said, it's not so heavy-handed, but the message is there. So
yeah,
like you said, it's in the title. So
the video, you wouldn't realize
maybe so
heavy-handedness as much. You know?
I don't recall the song that. I'm sorry, I forgot. Are you next? Am I next? Or you next?
I
You're
think I'm
next,
next.
Grant.
Take
Sorry.
over, Grant.
All
Take
right,
us to a
well,
happy
all right,
place.
man.
I'm going to
We're just riffing, man.
we're doing a 180, everyone. So buckle up. I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. I love that.
Which is about murder and carnage.
It is
No,
not.
it's not. I'm trying to bring everybody down. No, go ahead. That's a great song.
Yeah, it's
so
just
much fun.
cool. I mean, I'm not much for child singers. They can be annoying sometimes. Sorry, kids.
Who sings this? Rob Halford?
No,
Oh, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Gayla Peavy or Pive. I don't know how you pronounce
my
her last
goodness.
name.
Okay.
They. I love that name.
And it's just a fun because she wants a hill. And who doesn't want a hippopotamus for Christmas? Yeah, although they're the most dangerous animal.
I got to think of the logistics of
Yeah,
feeding.
you got a pool, don't you? I'll bring it over here. Okay.
Of feeding a man killer like a hippopotamus.
Exactly. Yeah. If you get it as a baby, then hopefully it won't maul you later as an adult. But yeah, it's just a fun song, and only a kid would want a hippopotamus for Christmas because kids are kids. So just a fun Christmas song. That's all.
Yeah. I love the bouncing percussive. I want a hippopotamus.
Yeah. I think
it's a lot of
it's
fun.
almost like a bandstand song, like back in the old days when they would, have bandstands and people would have parades. And
so there are so many syllables in that title. It has to be syncopated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's just that's a great song.
And
I have not heard that this year. I'm going to have to go out and look for it.
Is that something that you would hear out and about?
I've heard it on the radio several times.
If you don't listen to the radio,
several times. Oh my goodness. As
you don't
many
listen to the radio, would you hear?
I
don't listen to. I never listen to the radio.
I don't a lot, but occasionally I'll be driving and go, let's see what happens.
Like I said, everybody makes a Christmas album. There's so many different versions of the same song, and the fact that you heard that same song, that one song 3 times.
Oh wow,
pretty amazing. But it's a great song. You should
become more
hearing
popular
it more than some.
Yes, and there was a TV commercial 2 or 3 years ago that used that song.
Oh yeah,
and that's why it's back in the rotation.
Yeah,
for the last several Christmases.
Love it.
But I can't remember what the commercial was for. But they used that song in a commercial, and I was like, "Hey, there's that song."
That is a very powerful thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You can have something that's just revisited, for lack of a better term, and it just really brings a song to life for a whole new generation and reminds people about it. That's an awesome thing.
Yeah, I can't remember until they used it in that commercial. I couldn't remember the last time I'd heard it. So I know there's probably maybe 2 generations of kids that haven't heard that song.
I have fantasized about being a music supervisor on a project for a long time. And when I could just imagine a song being at the beginning of a movie I'm so, dates are kind of my thing, and if you had a movie where you wanted dates to be appropriate for a timeline, I could do that with little effort, and I just think, God, I would love that job. But I think about that all the time. When I hear a song, I thought, God, I could just visualize that being at the beginning of a movie or something, or a TV show or something. But, some of the songs, a lot of the songs we're talking about are more rock oriented.
Yeah.
And I'm going to kind of venture off from that soon. But I do want to talk about a song that really, really, I think is just so much fun. Is Bruce Springsteen's Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Oh, yeah.
And that is just fun to me. He's having fun with the audience. I want to say that was recorded in 75 and somewhere on Long Island, New York.
Is that old?
I think it was recorded in 75, but it might have been 80.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to waste my time looking at it for it right now, but I want to say that 75 is popping in my head as the year that was recorded.
Well, it sounds like there's a huge audience, and I don't know if he was.
I think it was a college.
Was it
audience? Okay. I think it was a college. I don't think he was quite at the level yet, but I'm pretty sure this. I don't know. The date is popping in my head, and it's a college in New York. I'm almost certain. I think.
Yeah.
I won't swear to that under oath, but I believe that's right. But it's just so much fun they're having.
Yeah, I remember the first time I heard it and Springsteen screaming Santa Claus, and it's kind of jarring hearing him sing that. But since then, when it comes on the radio, It's just a Christmas classic, you know.
I've heard it.
It is.
Springsteen scream Santa Claus at you. It's
Well, now that we're talking about it, I'm gonna just. I know this isn't important, but I just want to see if I'm remembering this right.
80, I may be wrong.
It could be later.
It's a good performance though, and that's what makes it so fun. Whether he's a good singer or not, it's a lot.
Oh yeah, he's definitely having fun with the audience, and so it actually. Well, I don't think that's correct.
Jamey,
I don't want to spend too much time looking for it.
Jamey,
But
with the internet, everything on the internet is true.
he did it for years after that. There's a version from 1978 in Houston, but that's not the version.
Yeah.
They didn't video that version. So, but anyway, that I really enjoy that because it's just him having fun with the audience, and it just feels like that would have been great to be there that night and watch that. So, and it just puts me in a good mood. So, you know, that's just something that I would always welcome hearing during the Christmas season.
Well, I'm going to go off the beaten path. Are you guys familiar with Rio Chio, which is a Spanish folk song? The Monkees did a great version of it. If you hear it,
oh wow,
bring it up on YouTube. There's from their Christmas special, I think it's a performance of them singing it. It's a cappella, but Spanish folk song talking about the shepherds and referencing Christ's birth. But it's a beautiful kind of a polyphony performance. Can't say much more than that, but it's a very old folk song. It's interesting how folk songs become Christmas songs. This does have to do with Christmas, or the birth. One of my wife's favorite songs is Chorus of the Bells, which I just found out that it was not a Christmas song. It's a Ukrainian folk song, and in 1919, apparently, someone came up with different lyrics, and
I've got one of those on my list.
Yeah, it became popular since then. But Rio Chio is maybe not dearly as well known, but it's worth a listen. It's a beautiful song, and the Monkees make a beautiful performance of it.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you mentioned that one. I love the fact that we're talking about some things that we're not all familiar with, and for me, I'm probably going to be the one that's the most guilty of that.
Yeah, that's what I like to revisit every season.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm really not much for Christmas music, so I have to really search for the ones.
I don't go out of my way to hear it, but like I said, when I hear a song that really, sets the mood, I always welcome it. I don't really ever think I'm just in the mood. I would never put on a serious radio, channel,
Christmas album.
That would never happen.
Yeah, I don't know a Christmas music listener. Like, I'm going to listen to Christmas music. No, it's on. I hear it. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. It's kind of, I want it to be a surprise and kind of just strike me in a certain way.
Yeah, I get that.
So am I next?
No, Jamey, wait your turn.
I can't remember.
You're going to get a piece of coal if you keep jumping in line.
He's waiting on his presents. He's like eager this morning. Is it my turn? I'm going to go with the little ditty that was written by some local DJs here a long time ago. It's called Sammy the Christmas Snake, and you can find it on YouTube. It's about a snake that lives at the North Pole and causes havoc among Santa, the elves, and the reindeer. And it's only like 1 minute and 30 seconds long. And it's just a kitschy little number that when they play it on a certain radio station here, I happen to catch it, and I'm like, okay. And if I don't hear it, I actually go to YouTube and listen to it a couple times during December because it's just a fun.
What is that station?
Rock 92.
Oh, okay. I don't know that I've ever heard of it.
Yeah.
When would that have been like started?
It was 80s, before 90s. It was let's see. The current morning show guys have been on for I think over 20 years now. So it was before their tenure. It was another
Chris.
Yeah, and
so that would have been in the 90s, probably mid to late 90s.
It's just a fun little song they made up about. Like I said, he's a
vaguely familiar to me.
He's a snake with the colors of a candy cane,
white
stripes, and and he just causes havoc. And
They wrote it.
Yeah.
Oh
and,
wow, that's cool.
and sang it. It's kind of like in Elf Voices or whatever, you know. At
Oh,
the
I
time,
see.
whatever they did, they probably sped up the voices a little bit, but it's just a fun little. It's almost like something we would do if we're like, hey, let's write a dumb Christmas song, and it's something somebody would come up with for fun, but it's just a cool little song, and
This would have been primarily on the morning show that you would have heard this.
yeah.
See, it's funny. I'm not a morning person by nature, and even when I was in North Carolina, I don't think I ever would have heard it because I never listened to their show.
Yeah.
Jamey,
Although
I have plenty of texts from you that arrive at 6:30 in the morning. So you can't tell
I'm
me.
not listening to the radio. I can tell you that.
Just
That's not what I'm doing. No, I do get when I do get up early, but the reason you guys get texts from me early is because I have to do it when I'm thinking of it or I'll forget about it. That's
Gotcha.
the only reason I do it. It's just like it's important enough to me to get this out, but if I put it off, I'll forget about it. That's the only reason. That's just how I am. But I don't listen to the radio that early in the morning. But even all, just to kind of sidebar, even all the towns that I've visited all over this country, and I've been to every state in the lower 48, I never listen to the radio in any of those states or any of these cities.
Really?
I have this much curiosity. I just don't care.
Yeah.
I don't know where that comes from. I have never cared about the radio at all. It just means nothing to me. I always know what I want to listen to.
The only
Yeah.
time I listen
Never-
to radio is when I want to be surprised and I
I
don't
think
want to be in
most
control.
people, I think most people are like you, but I just don't. I didn't get that. Even as a kid, I just found like I don't want to listen to all the stuff I don't want to hear.
Yeah.
I want to just listen to what I want to listen to. I don't know where that comes from. I
That's
never ever enjoyed the radio. I don't know. I'm not saying that's definitely in the extreme minority, but I just never have been that person.
I only listen to radio now if it's just like I said, let's just see what happens. And
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, you might listen to 2 songs before you're like, ew, and I'm done with this part of the radio for right now.
I only do that with college radio. I can't think of.
Now that is something I'm going to actually correct something I just said. When I worked in upstate, when I worked in the Northeast 30 some years ago, Seton Hall had a radio station that I loved. They played stuff that you would never hear anywhere else. That was a joy. That was one of the few exceptions that I went out of my way to listen to that radio station. They really were in control because it was a college radio station.
Yeah.
But they had all this wattage that went out all over the tri-state area. It was like a regular radio station in terms of signal, but they played all this great stuff. That's the kind of college radio is something that I should probably seek out more. I do enjoy the idea of that because there's a freedom there.
Well, radio now is nothing like when we used to listen to, like when we were in high school or whatever. You could leave the radio on, and even though there might have been a couple songs that weren't your cup of tea, it wasn't like, oh well, it'll be over in the 3
It wasn't
minutes.
even the same before that. In the 70s, it seemed more free than it was in the 80s, and after the 80s,
And now radio,
it's just gone
terrible.
downhill.
I want to say Clear Channel started in 81 when they started really programming.
Yeah, when it became
I believe
conglomerate,
it changed. I mean, and I would say that I do recall when we were really young, 107.5 used to be a rock radio station for at least a couple of years. I love the fact that they played the stuff that they wanted to play. Yeah. They had the freedom at that time. But
DJs back then, they made their own playlists and they played.
That's fun. If all radio stations were that way, I would be into it.
Yeah.
I would be into it. I mean, I understand that the artists want to be supported and played on radios. And excuse me, folks, for the rant here. But it would be so much more fun if you had the ability to play what you want to play. That would be a blast. That would be a fun thing to listen to. I probably would be a radio person, but as radio has been for the last 45 years.
Radio's the same. You can turn on a radio station if it's one of the conglomerate stations, and
there's the hat.
You can drive across the country, and the music will never change. Because
not a lot.
Every market you're in is owned by the same company, and they you play this, we tell you what to play. You know,
I have at least checked out radio stations in an area, and I'm rarely surprised.
I'm having some technical difficulties.
I love it.
There we go. Just throw that back there.
Okay, so that my rant is over. I don't even think that was a rant. That was just a friendly,
Christmas rant.
Christmas rant.
You're like a rhino.
Rant.
My cat. I'm glad the
That's-
cat's not in the room. He'd be going after that. Or
G rant is my name.
like lose some flesh over that.
Yeah.
All right,
All right,
Jamey.
it is. I am up.
Finally.
What do you listen to, Jamey, during the Christmas season?
Everything that I always listen to. I don't ever. I don't ever separate the seasons. I just don't do that.
Well, as far as your next Christmas tune, pretend you
He listens to
you
Yeah.
see this on the
Happy
radio.
Christmas.
No, I
World
love these
Record in
songs though.
July.
I don't go out of my way to listen to these songs, but I have enjoyed them, and I do. They mean something to me. That's as genuine as I can be about it. But I would never go out of my way to listen to any of these songs at any given time. If I hear them, I'm like, oh yeah, that's awesome. I would never go out of my way to
Hey,
listen
there
to
you
it.
go. I got it.
I do want to talk about the John Lennon song "Happy Xmas War is Over."
It's on my list, but go ahead.
It is just one of those
already know.
songs that I think that I've certainly had conversations with people's like, I'm so offended by the term Xmas. And I was like, I understand why you have some people that feel that way, but just get over it.
In the
it's
song
not-
they say Christmas. People, calm down.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't get bent out of shape over that kind of stuff. To me, if the song was only about the words, it would mean nothing to me, which is probably, again, I'm in the minority. But the melody is so memorable,
Mhm.
and it just works. And I want to say that I've read that this was borrowed from an old Scottish song, maybe, or an old British song. The melody was lifted, and he kind of reinvented it, so to speak. But whatever he did, whatever he used, he just innately knew that it would work, and it works. And I love the chorus. I love the verses. I just love his delivery in it. It's vulnerable, and it just, I don't know. It's not pompous to me. I think a lot of people might think of it as like, well, yeah, I'm John Lennon, and I've got something to say about the subject, but I think he says it in a very receivable way.
I
Yeah.
don't think
You
he
know?
wrote that out of pretense. I think he actually was like,
I do too.
was
do
like,
too.
I got something to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I take it as a very honest, moment that he was, giving to the world. I think of it as, I don't know if pure is the right word, but I think it's absolutely genuine,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it works for me. But it's such a strong melody that I just don't know if you can
Yeah.
hear melodies. I just don't know how you could deny that one. It's
No.
just
that
really a good
melody
song.
and the ebb of the music,
Yeah,
goes
yeah.
down, and the chorus builds behind them.
Is that in 3,
Yeah,
4
it's a
times?
beautiful song.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that until right now when you said
It has that lilt.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
It's got that Scottish lilt.
It works. Yeah, fun
good.
song. Love
Yeah.
it.
So Christmas classic, but so many classic Christmas songs we know are just ruined by people overdoing it. I said that before about too much production.
Mariah Carey, you getting ready to talk about her?
Not even going to go there. I mean, it's fine. That's not for me. I mentioned when talking about we should do this list, I mentioned Liza Minnelli destroying Jingle Bells for me. I cannot listen to Liza Minnelli try and jazz up Jingle Bells till it sounds like, call 911 for Liza. She's in trouble.
I wonder if her hero was Beverly Sills. They kind of had the same.
That's interesting. I never
thing,
thought
wasn't
about that. But that's what makes Mojo Nixon's Christmas album so great. I don't even know if he has an album. I know he has a list of Christmas songs he's done. But Mojo Nixon, we talked about previously. He's just he brings the joy. He's so much fun, man. His version of Good King Wenceslas. They play the music and then he stops in the middle of the song. He's like, "We should sing along. I don't know the words. Let's just fa la la, fa la 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 la. That's the whole song, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I have to hear that at Christmas time.
Let's sing along. I don't know the words.
Yeah,
I love that.
just-
I just love that line.
Make a
Yeah.
sound, just make a sound. And he does sing along to the other songs and does it pretty straight, but it's just so much fun.
Yeah.
Mojo Nixon. If you just want to be silly, it's up there. Well, maybe it's not up there with Grandma Got Run Over. But anything by Mojo Nixon is just hilarious and just a good time.
Yep. That's great.
Oh, now that brought up bad memories.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going with a traditional melody.
It's not Liza Minnelli, is it?
It's not Liza Minnelli. It's traditionally called Green Sleeves.
Oh yeah.
The melody, music is beautiful. And I'm not talking about the song, What Child Is This? That was lyrics added later to the music.
Yeah.
The music apparently comes from the 1500s somewhere.
Okay. I thought it was 1600s, but yeah.
1500s.
Maybe it's the 16th century, I was thinking.
Yeah.
maybe.
And
Yeah, so maybe 1500s, yeah.
there's rumor it had originally some very bawdy lyrics about a young
right?
lady. Yes, because
Mm.
I found out the term green sleeves was kind of pejorative for a young lady who was a little promiscuous, and she may have been in the fields and her sleeves get
Oh,
green.
that makes
because
sense.
She was fooling around a little bit.
I don't get it.
Interesting.
I don't understand. Can
Can
you explain it more explicitly?
That's for later.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway, yes, it and I could not find those bawdy lyrics. I searched a little to see. You never know what Old English is gonna be.
Been all day on Reddit.
And
I'm sure that somebody has created it out there that you can
yeah,
find.
I just made it up. I'm gonna make it up myself. Actually, good.
You probably could do that, and you would have 18 million people go, "I love that lyrics."
Probably. But anyway, I just let music is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a beautiful melody.
And the What Child Is This lyrics, I don't even consider that part of the song. I'm Jamey. I'm not paying attention to the lyrics. I'm just listening to the music and the melody.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that music so much that even the bawdy lyrics would probably bother me as well. Like, no, you're ruining this music. Shut up. Let it play.
Right.
It's an instrumental, But it's just such a beautiful, beautiful melody, beautiful chords.
I agree.
You got to think, wow, it's written all the centuries ago. It's
Yeah, I
crazy.
didn't realize it was that old. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, I knew it. I thought it was 1600s, but I think 16th century. So that would be the 1500s, but it's around that era for sure.
But like Honda, as far as Christmas music goes, Handel's Messiah was
Oh yeah,
early 1700s or mid 1700s, like that.
was it that early?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So
Yeah.
the
Boy, that's a
compare
beautiful
those two.
piece.
Yeah.
I am going to talk about a relatively newer. Well, it's a newer version, but it's Bing Crosby and David Bowie's "Little
Oh, yeah.
Drummer Boy."
Mhm.
I just really always thought they were having fun doing it.
Yeah.
I could just tell, even as a young person, that it worked for them. It didn't seem like they were going through the motions.
Yeah.
It just seemed like that was successful to me, and I do enjoy that song and that melody very much, but it just, I don't know. It just really works for me.
Yeah. It's cool when it's a generational thing, like two generations doing something you wouldn't think. Whoever thought that up.
Oh yeah.
Let's have Bing Crosby and David. And at the time, David Bowie was out there, man. He was like,
Yeah, he was still like strung out, wasn't he?
yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, his appearance and his
Yeah,
style
he looked good
was
during that taping.
yeah, probably the antithesis of
Yeah.
what
Well,
the
you're
Bing
right about
Crosby
that.
generation, were expecting and were looking for. Like,
Yeah.
who's this young man doing?
I just want to
Bing?
talk about
No.
this briefly. I mean, I might be wrong about this, but the date that's popping in my head is that Bing Crosby died in August of 77. So they would have had to film this some months. That was for this Christmas 77 season, wasn't it? It wasn't for Christmas 76.
I'm
I'm
not
almost
sure.
certain that came out Christmas 77 for the special.
Wow.
ABC
Well, that's
maybe.
what he did.
So they would have the thought of, and so many people do it out of necessity. Clearly, you have to record something before it comes out, and to think
Yeah.
about getting into the frame of mind and recording something when it's 99 degrees outside and
Yeah.
trying to get into that headspace. I mean, honestly, can you imagine?
Yeah.
You just have to put on your,
They're professionals, Jamie.
that's
Why they're professionals.
that's why they make the big bucks.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
if you were
but,
David Bowie at the time, how cool would it be
Oh, yeah.
to someone suggest, hey, we can do this with Bing Crosby? Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
do
that would have
that.
been
That would
awesome
be-
to,
that would be awesome.
wouldn't it be great to just know who he died in October, mid-October of 77. So still a couple of months,
Yeah.
more than a couple of months before he died, they recorded that. So I'm almost certain that came out in 77.
This
And,
hat is really hot.
So is this. Yeah. That's that is one of my favorites. So I'm just gonna
Yeah,
finish with that.
That's a
statement.
good one.
Yeah.
Is it up to me?
It
These
is.
are crackers. You know,
Just close your
I'm
eyes and
gonna
point.
close my eyes and point. As far as fun albums go, I'm going to start with an album because there's so many Christmas songs. Everybody puts the good stuff on their album. Two that stand out for me that fill my Christmas vibe would be "'Tis the Season" by Lost Straitjackets, surf versions of all your favorite tunes, which is just brilliant, I think. And a lot of fun is Brian Setzer Orchestra.
Oh yeah.
Boogie Woogie Christmas.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a lot of fun. Those two albums, the Rockabilly and Surf, that fills my need for Christmas vibe. I love it. Pulled that
for 3 times
3 times that day.
I
just can't
that
get
would be
into-
great to go see a live show.
Yeah,
Somebody
absolutely.
like an orchestra. I mean,
Yeah.
Brian Setzer's great. I love him, but any orchestra that's just having a lot of fun
Yeah,
wouldn't even need to be a guitar player in the center.
yeah,
Just to play these great arrangements of that would be incredible. That'd be so much fun to go
Yeah.
see.
But my wife is always looking for that perfect Christmas album. So we have
Oh, really?
a metric ton of Christmas albums. And I'm like, do we have to hear that? And she's like, I'm trying to find something for you. Brian Setzer Christmas album and Lost Straitjackets. Just so much fun. I can't get enough.
Yeah.
And
Now,
probably
do
people
you
around
guys
me can
actually
get
sit
enough, but-
around and put on a CD or a record just
Well,
for the?
when the
Do
kids
you do
were
that?
when the kids were younger, you have
Yeah.
all these different functions and
Right.
events that they're part of separately, and you spend a lot of time in the car.
Right.
I'm an old Scrooge, but the rest of the family likes to get in the mood, so we listen to a lot of Christmas music. We have listened to a lot of Christmas music traveling back and forth.
Oh, I can understand that, but I'm just saying, like now,
Now,
you're not opposed to it, but you don't
I'm
go out
not
of your
opposed
way
to it,
to
but
it.
I will honestly, when I go back to work, I'm going to play those two albums until somebody tells me to turn the crap off. So, and then I'm going to put on some Liza Minnelli and got what you
Beverly
wished for.
Sills. Put on
Yeah.
Beverly Sills. Hi, yeah.
But yeah, I love those two. That's my, if I have to, that's my go-to Christmas album. So,
Actually, who did that sound like? Did that sound? Who's the?
Ethel Merman.
Yeah.
Sound like no, Catherine
Come on,
Hepburn.
boys.
Catherine Hepburn. Oh, sorry.
That's
Sorry
a
to
Christmas
anybody out
album
there.
that's hard to find.
I'm going to have one that Jamie will like because there's no lyrics.
Okay.
And
I think I've given you the wrong impression. I
It's-
don't
it's not.
dislike them. I just don't care about them.
there's no, because Jamie loves songs with no lyrics.
I do love instrumentals.
It's not, I don't believe it was written as a Christmas song, but it has become a Christmas song from Mr. Tchaikovsky, Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy.
Yes.
And that's just one of the greatest pieces of music.
Yeah, I agree.
Christmas or not. But anyway, it just the way it's written, and I forgot what that instrument is.
Harpsichord? Oh, it's not the harpsichord.
Yeah, it's I meant to look it up and I forgot to. But anyway, it's definitely got that Christmas vibe,
Yeah. Sounds like fairies.
Yeah, like the lights are down low, the Christmas tree lights are on, and you you're like, oh, I got the Christmas spirit, I got the Christmas vibe, and then you hear that music, and
I just love the fact that whoever it is, or just the public decides at some point, and this came about what, through a commercial though, didn't it?
Mhm.
Like decades ago, somebody
Yes.
played this in a commercial, and it just kind of seemed like it was adopted. Am
Mhm.
I remembering that right?
You are. I believe it's some kid
Yeah.
sneaking down to look at the Christmas tree and seeing if Santa had left
That's
presents.
powerful though. Just think about how whoever was the advertising agency that decided to do that, they changed society to
Mhm.
some extent.
Well,
It
now that tune
really, really made a difference.
is from the Nutcracker, which is
Yeah.
about a fantasy suite about,
Yeah.
the toys coming alive under the tree. Am I correct about that?
Mhm.
I don't know. I've seen it. I took the kids to see it. I just don't remember. I like the music though. Tchaikovsky
Yeah.
is it's funny because I want to criticize the most famous things he does. I'm like, yeah, but forget my criticism. That's a brilliant piece of music, and
Yeah.
to be able to associate it with the Christmas season, obviously and immediately, great piece of music.
Well, yeah, that let's just put it that way. Instead of saying that it has nothing to do with Christmas, clearly it does. I mean, the festive season,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is so associated with Christmas Eve or Christmas, that
You
is the
can't
thing
unhear
that
it that way now.
yeah, right.
You
Yeah,
could be at a
that's really
performance
what my
and
point
that could
was.
come on and you think of Christmas.
if
You
you
know,
heard
right.
that in April, you're like,
Yeah.
why are they playing Christmas
Christmas music.
music?
Right.
But
And that's bad though. That's the bad part of it. How you are so intrinsically connected with something
yeah,
that you can't separate it. That's not good either, you know. But
yeah. Well, it's
yeah,
kind of meant for that, like I mentioned, Troika by Prokofiev earlier. That's you can kind of separate that because it's part of that a suite of music.
right.
The Nutcracker and Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies is intrinsically Christmas holiday music.
Christmassy.
Okay. I have one last song I would like to discuss. Um,
I'll allow
and
it.
I think that I just have to mention the Christmas song by Nat King Cole. That song is, I don't know, you could say it's cheesy, but it just works for me. I love Nat King Cole's voice for first of all. And he was just like a sophisticated, classy dude,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and
When I used to do open mics at Christmas, that was in my repertoire.
yeah, I mean, it just, I don't know. I mean, I can understand how people would smirk and kind of laugh if they were to hear somebody do that. I mean, I don't have the guts to try to do that in a sincere way. I just
Yeah.
don't know how you would possibly pull that off. You know? I mean, you couldn't, I just don't think you can replicate it,
Yeah.
You have to
very
make it
easily.
your own, I mean, if you try to be him and try to sound like
Right.
you're,
Yeah.
what are you doing? But
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah. To try and emulate. He's
yeah.
the bar set pretty high.
Oh yeah.
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 That to me is one of the seminal, Christmas
Mm-hmm.
songs for sure. I think anybody would agree with that.
Yeah.
There is one that neither one of you have talked about that I hope one of you would discuss, but we'll see. Do you guys have one more pick, or is that
Throw it
what
out
we're
there,
going to finish
Jamey.
on?
Just go ahead
Yeah.
and throw us under the
Okay.
bus.
All right. White Christmas by Bing Crosby.
Okay.
It's not really my jam, but it is just one of those songs that the melody is so strong.
He's mentioned Bing Crosby twice, so I guess it's his
Yeah,
jam.
I am a Bing Crosby fan.
Yeah.
I love the rich voice
Yeah.
that Frank Sinatra and Bing Crosby
Yeah.
and even Dean Martin.
Dean Martin, yeah.
Just love that resonance that
Yeah.
people from that era had. I'm in the minority. I'll say it again. Tony Bennett, not really my favorite from those guys, although I know he's really, really loved by many, many people. He was different. To me, he didn't really have that same resonance. His voice was in a slightly different register.
Yeah.
I mean, register maybe is not the right word, but it wasn't in that.
It had a
It
different
didn't have that
tone.
richness.
Yeah.
I want that richness. That's what my ear wants to hear. And Bing Crosby had it. And he was just one of those guys. He was just very
Yeah.
sophisticated. And I look at the people from that era and I thought, God, man, those guys were men. You know, they just
And men.
yeah, it just seemed like it was different back then.
Yeah.
Those they were men.
That's
I
a
don't know what that sounds like, but that's just
just
how I
like
think about it.
just like Nat King Cole, I think when you hear White Christmas by anybody else,
Yeah.
that's Bing Crosby has set the standard for that. You
Yeah.
know,
That's
so
his song.
so easy and warm the performance.
Yeah.
Actually, I was going to mention Elvis Presley's Christmas album, which I think is great. It's got some rock songs on it. It's got some traditional stuff. It's
Yeah.
got him singing White Christmas, and his version of White Christmas is really good too. It's got that resonance, that timbre, that
Elvis had that resonance in his voice for sure.
same
Yeah.
kind of delivery. So yeah, great song, whether it's Elvis or Bing Crosby, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
Is there any other songs that you guys want to discuss? Or
I'll throw out a quick "Christmas in Hollis" by Run DMC.
I was hoping that would
Yes,
come out.
I
It's on
love
my
it.
list.
Fantastic song, and it's in Die Hard, which is a Christmas movie.
One of the
No,
best.
it's not. It's not.
We're
It
gonna
came out in July.
shut the camera off, Jamey. We're gonna fight about it.
Keep
We're having
the
a
camera on,
Christmas
keep you
fight.
safe.
It's a Christmas movie, and Christmas in
Did the
Hollis
movie
is
come
all.
out in July?
I
Did it
did,
come
It
out?
did.
yeah.
Yeah, it came out in summertime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
though it's a Christmas movie, it came out in the
Isn't
summertime.
that strange? I did not realize that.
It was
Wow.
a summer blockbuster.
I wonder what their rationale for that was. That would have been perfect to come out in the Christmas season.
Yeah.
Why, Jamie? Why would it have been perfect for a Christmas? Because it's a Christmas movie.
It's based in the
What's
Christmas
interesting
season.
is they didn't use a Christmas song for the main
Yeah.
soundtrack motif. It was Beethoven's Ode to Joy
Mhm.
that was played over and over again, which, you know, Handel's Messiah or any number of
Mhm.
Well,
Christmas
I could be wrong
gospel.
about this, but I don't think Lethal Weapon came out in Christmas season of
Yeah,
'87, did it?
summer as well.
Yeah,
Was
no,
it a summer
summer.
blockbuster as well? Now, I know
Yes.
Lethal Weapon 2 came out in the summer of '89.
Yeah.
It's just I think they just got into the habit of releasing Christmas
Interesting.
movies in the summer.
That is so I never
Christmas
paid
movie.
any attention to that. That is so interesting to me. That just seems odd that they would choose to do that.
It's a marketing trick, Jamie.
Yeah. They
Well,
get you
so
in
they
the summer, and then when it goes,
It's like
goes
Greg
to DVD,
Lake
they
making a
get you in
anti-Christmas song that became a Christmas anthem, and it was the opposite of what he wanted to do, which became the opposite of what he did, and so it all worked out.
Now, the songs that clearly the songs that we've discussed are probably wouldn't listen to in the heat of the summer necessarily, or
Mhm.
you know, they seem most appropriate in the holiday season for sure. But you know, I guess by design, these songs were like, well, we'd love for this to become a perennial favorite.
Yeah.
You know, we want this to be played every year. It's going to have a limited lifespan in terms of throughout the year. Most, you know, people aren't going to listen to it, but if, you know, let's just talk about a couple other songs before we go.
Okay.
Okay. Elton John's Step Into Christmas. Is it Step Into Christmas?
Yeah.
Not the most successful Christmas song, in my opinion, but it really sets a mood, and it was hit the peak of his powers, 74-ish, maybe. And then you've got Paul McCartney's "What a Wonderful Christmas." Christmas is a wonderful time. Is that what it's called?
Having
What a
having-
wonderful time it
Yeah.
is.
something like that.
It's fun. It
Yeah,
is fun. But trying to compete with something like Happy Xmas War is
No,
over.
yeah, you can't
Yeah.
compete with
It
that.
doesn't compete with it, but it's fun.
Yeah.
But it's
Well, kind
got
of
these,
it-
you
Kind
know,
of in the vein of what you're talking about. If you're going to be a one-hit wonder, if you can have one Christmas hit,
that's not a bad. Yeah, you're
and
right.
the Waitresses had a hit with I know what boys like,
Mhm.
but Christmas Wrapping
Yeah. It's
is
fantastic.
Yeah,
again one of my wife's favorite songs, and every time that comes on at Christmas time, it's like, yes, there it is. That's that gets you in the mood. Christmas
does.
Wrapping. It's a great song. It's a great pop song. It's a great Christmas song.
Well, as we've discussed, these songs are clearly important for many, many people during the holiday season. But these songs, we believe, are really good songs that, given another backdrop, they would survive well on their own without being associated with the Christmas, in my opinion. I think these songs truly are really well written and good songs, so I've enjoyed this list. Anything else you guys any other bands or artists you want to talk about, songs, before we go?
No one mentioned "Rocking Around the Christmas Tree" by Brenda Lee, did they?
I actually did have that on my list, but
Father Christmas by the Kinks.
I love that song. Yeah, that too.
Oh, what a great song, Father.
I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day by Wizard.
Should have mentioned, is that Roy Wood?
Keep going.
I should have mentioned Father Christmas by the Kinks. I love that song.
That came out,
about it.
When punk was taking over, and
78, I think.
it kind of had that punk edge to the words about, Father Christmas, give me some money or else.
Yeah.
What a great Christmas sentiment.
I had forgotten all about that. I own that song and I haven't even, I'm going to have to listen to that tonight. So I am going to listen to a Christmas song.
Spotify AI to make you or Apple AI to make you a Christmas playlist.
Boys and girls, if there are any favorites that we missed, go ahead and put them in the comments. So we can talk about them next year.
Yes. Thank you guys for checking in with us this week. And as Mike said, give us some ideas about what we might have missed. And please like and subscribe as always. We really appreciate it. Hope you guys had fun like we did. Thanks so much.
Be well.
And vote for Die Hard as a Christmas movie. Oh,
did you call me? It's loud.